Festivities are in the air, but one doesn't have to, compromise your well-being while celebrating. With a little planning, you can enjoy the festivities while feeling at your best. This is possible by balancing holiday treats with smart choices, with focus on hydration, mindful eating, prioritizing fruits and vegetables, staying active with family, managing stress, and planning ahead to make nutritious swaps, ensuring fun without compromising well being. Well, this will be our focus on Nigeria today. I am Minna Daniels. Glad to have you join us. With me in the studio for the discussion is Dr. Isaac Eboja, the public health specialist. Welcome to the program. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Also in the studio for the discussion is Dr. Godwin Alechino. He's a clinical psychologist. Thanks for joining us on the program tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, gentlemen, let me start from Dr. Isaac. Please tell us, what are the basic things, to do for a healthy festivity?
Well, from the health perspective, we have to look after ourselves. We have to watch what we eat, what we drink, where we go, and when we go. Those things are very important, especially for those people who already have some health problems or health challenges.
Okay, let me come to our psychologist. How should people socialize during this festivity?
As you all know, festivity period, it's a time that individuals set aside to spend time with their loved ones and also ease stress. Now, talking about stress, there are positive forms of stress and there are negative forms of stress. So the negative forms of stress is that kind of stress that affects that individual, and the individual looks for healthy coping mechanism to handle or manage that stress. So this period gives that individual the opportunity to spend time with family members, loved ones, and that can help that individual to be able to deal with stress. So family bonding is one of the ways we can actually spend time with ourselves and with stress. Yeah.
All right, Dr. Isaac, what are the do's and don'ts during this festive season? A lot of people, have plans. Some have planned to eat all manner of things. In fact, some have planned to let their guards down. I confess I'm one of those, because if these periods don't come all the time. So what are the do's and don'ts as we celebrate?
Okay, let's start with where we go. There are lots of activities going on during this time of the year, especially outdoor activities. And this means that people stay out late in the night, they go to crowded places, they go to dusty places, and they have to watch this. Dust is not good for health, especially those that are already compromised, those that are already sick from one thing or the other. What does dust do? It causes respiratory infection, respiratory problems. Okay, so people should be careful when they go into crowded areas also. Crowded areas, even if it is indoor, there are people who are coughing, who are sneezing, there's flu going on. They have to be careful with those kinds of places and how they socialize. Because you can go to a place well and come out ill. That's possible. And people who already are, who are sick and who are taking medication, especially if they have respiratory problems, they should make sure that they adhere to the treatment that they are taking. If you are asthmatic, for example, and you are going to go out, please don't stay late and stay in the cold environment. It's not good for you. People at this time like to lay the gear down, like you said, and they drink.
Yeah.
This is one area where we have to be very, very careful. People drink all kinds of things, especially hard alcohol, the ones that intoxicate people. If you must have to drink, take little wine or something that you can handle. Please don't go beyond your level. I personally would advise that you stay away from alcohol. But if you must drink, please make sure that you don't go beyond your limit. And if you are drinking, please don't drive. And if you are driving, please don't drink. They don't go together. This is the time also when people need to rehydrate very well, because as you stay active, indoors, outdoors, the weather is hot sometimes and cold other times. When it is hot, you perspire and you lose a lot of water. Therefore, you need to replace the water that you lose by drinking plenty water. That's what we mean by rehydration. And some people, especially young people, think, well, we drink plenty alcohol, it will replace the water that we lose. No, it doesn't. Okay. So stay away from that. Eat very well. Some people jump from one activity to the other without resting, without eating well, and without sleeping adequately. You need, or we need, to sleep adequately, at least 8 hours a day. That's important. And we need to eat very well so that we stay healthy. We need to eat balanced diet. Eat a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, especially fresh ones. But be careful with salads. This is the time when people get food poisoning. Wow. Because of the type of salad they eat. Either that the salad has been prepared and left for too long, and bacteria have grown in it. And so when they ingest it, they get infected and they start vomiting, developing fever, diarrhea, and so on, and then get dehydrated, which is not good.
Oh. So just to add to what Doctor, he talked about alcohol. You know, this festive period is a trigger for a lot of persons that want to celebrate. So in as much as they want to celebrate, alcohol is a depressant. And so the effect of taking this alcohol has psychological effects too for this individual. So it gets to affect them, their sense of affect, and how they even get to interact, thereby causing substance use disorder. And that can actually predispose them to a lot of harm. Yeah.
So you might actually, want to celebrate and end up harming yourself.
Yes. A lot of times working with individuals, mental health issues and alcohol issues. Yeah. So a lot of times we get individuals who, during this festive period, they just want to socialize and they just want to get themselves high because it's a festive period, so it's a time to celebrate. But the effect is something else, because at the end of the day, you get to act in a very funny way. Family members are looking at you and say, this person doesn't act this way, but all in the name of, oh, we are celebrating. At the end of the day, this individual's behavior is being distorted, they become erratic, or they have experienced one or two issues, and it causes conflict to amongst.
So you mind the kind of company you keep, right?
Very well, yeah, very well.
So what are the psychological benefits of the festive, season, especially when it comes to social bonding? Because some people are traveling to go and, make friends, different kind of friends for different reasons. Some want to go, go home, look for their life partners. People want to meet their business partners and all whatnot. So please advise us, how do we do this safely?
Okay, so first of all, I'll talk about the kind of support we get as individuals. So you have recreational support, you have psychological support, you have emotional support. So these individuals, while they're traveling, they have it at the back of their mind that I am bonding with this person because of this support I've gotten from this person over time. And so Mr. A will want to bond with Mr. B because of the kind of distant psychological support he or she has given. And he will be like, oh, this is time for me to bond with this person physically. So he has it at the back of his mind that I am going there to ease myself of these psychological issues that I've been having. Some persons render social support, recreational support. So they have it that, oh, when I'm traveling to my place, I am going to bond with this person so that we can go out. So one person is managing stress, the other person is managing one issue that he or she is dealing with, using this festive period as an umbrella to say, oh, this is a time for me to express myself. There are individuals that have issues with boundaries, and they use this festive period to learn how to deal with their boundaries. And there are different types of boundary: collapse boundary, healthy boundary, and rigid boundary. So some individuals may not know how to best interact with people. So this gives them that ample opportunity to begin to learn how to interact and even get to know their family members better. So I would say this period give individuals the opportunity to bond with family members and help them to ease stress.
Awesome. Dr. Isaac, how should people, celebrating avoid food poison or stomach upset like you mentioned earlier?
Okay. When we talk of food poisoning, we mean that you ingest food that causes health problem for you. For example, you take salad that has been made for maybe 2 days, maybe about 24 hours, and it contains bacteria, plenty of bacteria, because they will stay in it and multiply. When you take that food or that salad, the bacteria will infect you, and you start vomiting, you have diarrhea, you have fever, and that's what we mean by the food has poisoned your system. That's one. The other is when you take foods that don't agree with each other. Certain foods should not be taken together. And when you do, you also get into problem. Then another way is when you take foods that are not good, that you react to, that you are allergic to, or maybe you're on medication, and there are certain foods that you should not take. And when you take them with your medicine.
Like too much salt for those that have BP.
Yes, that's a good one. Generally, we shouldn't take too much salt. We should take just enough, but not too much. And if you already have hypertension, you should limit or even eliminate salt as much as possible.
But that's not limit to eating chicken.
I'm not sure. I think any food can cause problem if you overeat.
True.
Okay.
If you eat too much during this time of the year, in particular when people stay out late and the food doesn't digest, the next morning you are sick.
Please don't say that about chicken.
Okay.
All right. So how do you think people should avoid or manage stress, ahead of life after the festivity? Some people, want to go home and manage stress, but when they come back, they really overload. They come back with more stress.
Burnout,
yeah.
Okay, so like I explained earlier, there are two forms of stress. You have the positive form of stress, which is the eustress, and then you have the negative form of stress. Now, for this festive period, some individuals might experience eustress, which is a positive form of stress, because you're traveling all the way from Abuja, say, to the east to go and meet your family members. You know that you're still going to go through all of those stressful activities, but with a purpose. And at the end of the day, you're going to feel fulfilled. Now, the negative form of stress is the one that is unmanageable. You can't manage. And when it gets to that point where it is overwhelming for you, then that's where we can now begin to say, let's check for the stress level and all. So I'm going to lay emphasis on the negative form of stress. For this festive period, a lot of persons will be overwhelmed at the end of the day because of the so much stress that we've gone through. So while we are still in this festive period, I'll always entreat that we make our time to rest, take enough water. Spending time with your family members doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a personal time for yourself to rest. We've heard a lot of cases of how people just out of the blue just go out and the slum and they say, oh, what happened to this person? Most times we don't get to check our blood pressure, we don't check our sugar level. So we should make out time for ourselves. Exercise. You wake up in the morning, take 1 or 2 glass of water, exercise, and have time for yourself. Meditate. There are times that we don't take inventory of our activities for the day. We just go out and feel we can achieve everything in one day. So we should be able to journal and be able to know how to manage our time. It's very possible for us to manage our time during this festive period, so it doesn't lead to distress. Distress is the negative form of stress, while eustress is the positive form of stress.
Okay, so they shouldn't be thinking about school fees, in January while they are relaxing, because that's another form of stress.
If you're out to relax, then you should be able to let go of intrusive thoughts that
Okay.
comes to your mind, thinking about what will I eat when it's January. I mean, now should be a time that you let go of every other activity and focus on yourself.
Okay.
We always tell people that be selfish with yourself, not because you're not important, but you are very important to yourself first before other people. And so you should be able to learn how to manage yourself.
Okay.
And so you don't get to experience the negative form of stress that gets overwhelming over time and breaks that individual down.
All right. Dr. Isaac, how should celebrants avoid situations? Okay, that's the question he answered. Now answer his own. What other measures, are you suggesting that people should, deploy as they celebrate?
Well, he just mentioned exercise, which I was going to talk about.
Okay.
Very important. People need to do exercise generally, but especially when you are home and all you do is eat and sleep. You should try to do some exercise too. In the village, for example, or even in town, you can take a walk. Early in the morning, early hours of the morning when the weather is cool, and towards the evening when the weather is also cool. Take a walk and do some exercise before you come back to relax again. That's one. Two, it is important for people to always watch their health. If you notice something unusual about how you feel,
Yes.
you should check it out. And it is also a time when people, either out of negligence or ignorance, ignore the symptoms that they have, health problems that they have. Somebody, for example, may be having consistent headache and says, no, it's nothing. He goes and takes some alcohol so that the headache would go. But that's not the solution. You may be having that headache because you have malaria. You may be having that headache because there are other problems that you have. You may be having that headache because you are stressed. You may be having that headache because you have hypertension, which you don't know about. It could be headache is a symptom of something underlying problem. So you should check it out. So also, if you notice that your breathing is not normal, especially now that the weather changes very radically, from morning till noon, it is cool. From, say, 12 noon till 4 p.m., it is very hot. And then in the night, it is very cold again. So it's very easy for us to have health problems that come very silently, and we ignore them. Please don't ignore anything that is not normal with you.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Godwin, let's talk about being conscious about safety as we, celebrate this period. When should we bother about our safety? We know what times we are in right now.
Okay, safety in with regards to psychological safety.
Yes.
Yeah. So like I talked about boundaries. There are different types of boundaries. Yeah, collapsed boundaries, rigid boundaries, and healthy boundaries. So you should be able to know how to interact with people and know the kind of information you're giving out to certain set of persons, because you're going out and these individuals are gathering information about you. Again, your mental state, it's as important as your physical health. So you should be able to interact basically with people around you, and they should know your state of well-being. If you're not okay, you should let people who you're safe with should know that, yeah, you are not fit, so they could know how to manage you better.
Then let's talk about older people. People just go in for festivities and they are not guided by, possibilities that could spring up as a result of their age. What would you be advising them? Dr. Isaac will also give an advice, but...
So I think you should answer first.
Okay.
Yes. When we talk of taking care of ourselves, especially when the weather is changing from morning till afternoon, afternoon till late afternoon, from late afternoon till night, and so on, we should look at those at the extreme age groups. Babies, little children, we should look after them very well. Make sure they are not dehydrated. Make sure that when they are coughing and sneezing, they are well looked after. Make sure that you clothe them very well and get them to eat and drink water as adequately as possible. And for the elderly, the same. The elderly in particular, they are fragile, their systems are weak, they need to eat well, they need to rest well, and they need to take medication. Those of them who are taking their medication, they need to adhere to whatever they are told to do. And they need to sleep very well and rest very well. Sleep in itself is medicine. Food is medicine. Water is medicine. Rest generally is medicine. And so if you do all these things, the likelihood that you will stay very healthy is very high. But if you ignore them, the likelihood that you get very sick or get sick is also very high.
So Dr. Isaac, people, before you answer, you know, it's dusty period now, and I see a lot of people wearing those masks, even though there's no COVID. And some people also have, do have some health challenges that shouldn't really warrant nose masks, but because everywhere is dusty, they are forced to. What could be the implication?
There's no negative implication about wearing face mask. It keeps the dust away from you, and therefore helps you to breathe well and keeps you away from infection that could come as a result of dust. And like I said, those people who are allergic to dust, allergic to pollen, and also asthmatic should be careful. And so if such kind of people know what problems they normally have or they could have and wear face mask, I think it's very good.
Okay, good. Dr. Godwin now.
No, I was going to add to talking about the elderly. So I was going to talk about the safety needs. These individuals, they love companies a lot. And so if we get them isolated, we don't get to interact basically with them. They feel they are not loved and they begin to feel lonely. So we should find time to be with them regardless. They are a very special set of individuals that their needs are way more than the needs that we expect. So we should always tolerate their excesses.
What about pregnant women, especially first-time mothers? What should they, how do they handle the season, knowing their condition?
It comes with a lot of twitching and switch of moods. So you have to manage the cravings, you have to manage the moods, and even after childbirth, some women experience depression, postpartum depression. And so even before that time, how are you prepping your mind to being with such set of persons? Because it comes with a lot of demands, and the cravings and, like I said, the twitching and switching of moods can also make someone who is not tolerant to become upset or irritated by certain kind of gestures. So for individuals that are with pregnant women, you should learn to be tolerant, tolerate more, and be more understanding. Yeah. Also, you can easily get irritated, and that could also predispose or trigger you to anger too. Yeah.
But Isaac may want to also advise the husbands of such women.
Yeah, let me also add to the women themselves. They should make sure they go to the nearest health facility for antenatal care. Yes. It's very important for them to be checked from time to time. And they should limit their activities. Okay. Especially when a woman is pregnant for the first time. They don't know their limits. Yeah. Some of them jump on motorcycle and go to any place they want. They do not know what kind of activities are not good for a pregnant woman because they don't have any experience. Yeah. So if they have questions, they should ask. Ask those women who are around them who have experience, ask health workers. If they notice anything in their health, they should also make sure that it is checked.
Okay, your final words.
And their husbands. Okay. I think husbands need to be very supportive, both emotionally, physically, and financially. Okay. There are times when a woman is pregnant or after she has delivered, she wants to go to the clinic, and the husband says, I don't have money. Well, if they get sick, you're going to get that money. So
your final words, proper planning. We have less than a minute now, so your final words.
My final words, Nigerians, our health is in our hands, so let's take care of it well.
Okay. Dr. Godwin, final
Nigerians,
words.
your mental health is as important as your physical health. Please do take care of your mental state. Thank you.
All right, well said, and that's it for today. Our appreciation goes to our guest, Dr. Isaac Eboja. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and also Dr. Godwin Alechinu, clinical psychologist. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, and thank you too so much for being part of this. Remember, the program Nigeria Today airs weekdays at 7:30 p.m. on NTA News 24. You can also watch a repeat at 10 o'clock in the night, as well as other episodes on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub. I am Mina Daniels. Enjoy the celebrations.